everybody, and welcome back to Homestead Tessie. Today we are going to have a Amish bulk food run, and we are going to fill the winter larder. Here is Jacob. This is my husband's great-grandpa, and back in the early 1800s he had a dry goods store. This is Grandma Fanny. Let's open up this ledger and let's find out what it was like in 1886. Here is his diary from 1886, where he talks about his store and he talks about all of the things he did farming. In this full episode of Homestead Tessie. It really is no difference than like the Little House on the Prairie series, where they would show you in the fall how Mom and Pa would go to the store maybe once or twice a year in the fall and the spring. Well, today, even though in the modern day, it's a little bit like that in this video. I went to the dry goods store and I bought some things. This is pie and pastry flour, and this is what the Amish use to make their homemade noodles, which of course I love making homemade noodles. So we're going to go ahead and jar everything up and put it into my winter larder, which I'll show that with you in a moment here. We also have some dried vegetables. They smell so good. So we're going to go ahead and jar them up along with some parsley, and then we'll go into the pantry and we'll put it all together. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to fill up all of our glass jars that were empty over the summer. And I want to make sure I label everything very well, because pastry flour is only good for making pie crust and making noodles and all of that. When you're storing your food for long term or even just for a season, that you take it out of the plastic bags. Plastic can actually absorb odors, and having it in glass, well, just gives you a barrier protection, especially in the wintertime when you could have a few critters that try to come in from the cold and want to make their home in your beautiful pantries. Winter larder, I love having dried food. So here we have some dried vegetables that we're going to go ahead and fill up in our glass jar. You can add a scoop of this to when you're making soup. It's carrots and onions and peppers and some parsley and potatoes. Parsley. And now the winter larder is set for all winter. Well everyone, this is my winter larder and it is fully ready to go for all winter, and I am very excited to share with you some more upcoming videos of my life and memories and a simpler pace of living. And I hope that entertains you as well. It is very lovely to look at. All of these ledgers that I have are original from our family. They were passed down from generation to generation. And it is from 1886 is this page that we're reading. And he talks about buying 725 pounds of flour for their store in Philadelphia. Now, him and another farmer went together and they bought this store in Philadelphia, and he didn't stay in the mercantile line of business for very long. I think he only had the store for about 2 years until he sold out his portion of the partnership. But he talks about the linens that they had in the store, and he talks about the corn and the flour and the oatmeal and all of the beautiful things that he was doing. So he has it in written. The book is extremely old, as you can tell, and the pages are very brittle. But you can see the date from 1886 on here. On July 12th, he worked 1/4 of a day at the mercantile store, and on July 13th, he worked 1 day. July 14th, he worked 3/4 of a day, And on July 16th, he worked 3/4 of a day. In July of 1888, he harvested corn, and so he wasn't able to work in Philadelphia. I am assuming that he had a train and the train would take him there. But what happened was he was just a farmer here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and I believe, from what I understand with the records, it just took too much of his time. I don't know if he made money on his little adventure of having the store in Philadelphia, and I don't know really a whole lot about it other than his ledgers. In 1885, he had tobacco, horse hay. He had to mow the top of the hay. In 1885, he writes, tobacco, horse hay, mow across the top of the barn, 20 feet, full rail on first harvest. So very interesting. And so he grew tobacco, which most of the Amish grow tobacco this day if they are into farming. And that is a little bit of the history.